Welcome on this glorious and challenging day. I've heard from so many personally, and as well from so many stories around the globe, the concept of loneliness, where people in their 70s will be having the Seder the first time in their lives alone, maybe with one more person. But the family gathering from 7 to 70 people for this year is going to be history. People are very hurt, people are very sad and very depressed. I'll just share with you a little insight that might make your life easier. People cry to me and tell me, it is so depressing, I will be all alone. Many times we don't realize the situation that we are and the interpretation we give to the situation is two different worlds. I am myself, with myself this year for the Seder. I am with myself. There's no other physical human being gonna be in my home this year. Yet I have chosen to interpret that I am not alone, I'm with myself. If you're emotionally healthy and you're okay to be within your own skin, you actually love to be with yourself. Some other people tell me I'm gonna be all by myself, and I tell them by could cause sadness and depression for you, and they go, why? Isn't that true? I'm by myself? I say no. The word by means you're not connected to you. You're a bystander. Please stand by me in my challenging times. You want something external to be next to you. When you use the term, I will be by myself, your brain goes to work, your amygdala, your subconscious mind goes to work and says, yeah, you're not even connected to yourself. You're going to be left alone in the woods. Well, I'm not alone in the woods. But you're going to be left alone in the woods. And you're going to be by yourself, standing by yourself. You're not connected. Even if you're not emotionally healthy, you're not on that level. I think the vocabulary we use is the process that our subconscious mind kicks in. If you use large logs, there'll be a large fire. If you use small twigs, there'll be a small fire. If you use the words, and if you choose to use the words, I will be alone, just me and my spouse. I will be alone without my parents. I will be alone without my siblings. I'll be alone with the extended family. You'll definitely feel depressed and alone. I'm not saying from now everyone should go and be with themselves. But when we're thrown at the situation, when life throws at us a curveball, let's make the best from it, and let's at least use our interpretations in a way that it will help us. And therefore we're going to say, I am with myself this year. Point number 2. When you're with yourself this year, go back to what you have done when you were 1 year old or 2 years old, when that talent was robbed from us by society or by the adults around us. What was robbed from us? Besides your diapers, there was something else robbed from you. Your power of imagination. Where we as adults barely do it. I do it all the time. Whenever I want. I got a free Netflix right over here. No membership. Forget about 30 days. Forever. You close your eyes. If you know how to breathe, that even helps you. Go through the Passovers, where your children and grandchildren, where your parents and grandparents sat there. Mark my word, if you try it, you will cry with tears of emotions, with tears of love. Use your imagination to replay, because we can replay and relive. It is so uplifting to see a 1.5-year-old play with their toys, and you just listen to what they say. They're going places. In 1 minute they're in China, then they're here, then in the construction zone, then they're in the jail, then they're a police officer. They can be everything, and they're so happy. because they don't physically have to get into a car and go somewhere. They use their imagination. Point number 3, which I will conclude with. So many of us will be with ourselves and no one else in the room for this Pesach. One thing me and you know, this is something that will last for weeks, the most a couple of months. And then there's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to share with you what was in my heart the last few weeks. I started going through people that I know in my life that lived alone. The 30-year-old, the 40-year-old, the 50-year-old that's looking and dating and trying to find a love life. Living on their own, not for a period of time, but an unknown period of time that has already lasted sometimes decades. And we know them, we talk to them, we meet with them. But yet I think because our lives are good, we forget about them. It is a time where so many of us are getting to feel that lonely feeling. And when we're done, or even before we're done, we will learn more sensitivity to so many around us in our society, in our circles, that in one way or another are lonely. And an investment might be just 5 minutes a week to call them up and ask them how they're doing and tell them we're thinking about them. There's something very, very, very powerful. I'm just reminded as I thought I would conclude this clip. I forget what book and I forget what chapter, but I remember the verse where God says, be sensitive to strangers, to converts, because you were strangers in Egypt. I always love that verse. Why does he have to say it? Because you were. What? And you weren't? You don't have to be sensitive? Like, what's the deal? Because you were sensitive. Because you were strangers in Egypt. And I thought about this for over 30 years, and I love it. I just love it. I love it. God, we would follow God. God says, be sensitive to strangers. Be sensitive to strangers. God says so to do it. It makes sense. It doesn't make sense. It's definitely a good thing to be sensitive to anyone. Why does God have to add the words? Because you were strangers in Egypt. And my simple explanation would be is, when God adds those words, because you were, there's a deep sensitivity. We would have followed God's instructions. But the moment we go, oh, I was in that situation too. I know what it's like. Whenever I get into a situation and it's apparent negative, I go, this is sort of good, because when I'll get out of it, I'll be able to be sensitive to all those people that went through that situation. And they could help that situation. When a woman, heaven forbid, has a miscarriage, which is so painful, no therapist, no doctor, no life coach, no husband, no one can help her. There's only one person. Well, I shouldn't say they can't help her. They can help her a little bit. There's only one person that really can help her. It's when someone calls her, someone meets with her and says, I want to talk to you. I went through it 3 months ago. I went through it 3 months ago. The moment a woman hears another woman says, I went through it 3 months ago, that's all she has to hear. It is so reassuring. It is so calming that the person is not alone. I thought I was done. Sorry, one more. I forgot it. It came to me and I lost it. It's okay. I'll share another clip. Chag Sameach. Happy Pesach. And whatever happens to us is one thing. But let's try our best to interpret it. I just remembered. One more thought that might help you, that might change your mind interpretation. So many people that wake up in the morning and it's a cloudy day. What do they say? Oh, today's a gloomy day. I've heard people say today's a miserable day. I know someone that actually takes a picture of the cloudy day, puts it on Facebook and writes, today is a bad day. That's okay. If you love depression, you love sadness, please continue this practice. I'm sorry, I don't live in that zone. I love positivity, energy, life, and love. And when I see the cloudy day, besides me saying that the sun always shines above the clouds, I'm so excited because I say, today is a sun appreciation day. Now listen to these words. Today is a sun appreciation day. I'm acknowledging it's cloudy. I'm acknowledging it's gray. I'm acknowledging I'm not getting what I love to get. But I am interpreting the event in a very different way. And my interpretation is today is today is a sun appreciation day. So I'm using the word sun and I'm using the word appreciation. And as I get to my car and as I go shopping and as I do stuff, I keep on repeating, today is a sun appreciation day. How would I ever enjoy a beautiful day if we wouldn't have a few cloudy ones? I know, I lived in Florida for several months. I loved it. I just loved it, I can't tell you. But I gotta be honest, it was 6-7 weeks into it and I go, I forgot to give gratitude on this beautiful and gorgeous, amazing sunny day because it was sunny every day. So you sort of lose that touch. We lose that touch. Whenever there's an apparent negative situation, we could always have a positive spin. Today is a sunny appreciation day. Or what do I do in the winter? Very simple. When it gets really cold, the old me go, oh my gosh, oh, can't wait till this is over. When is April gonna come? Today is a summer appreciation day. Today's a summer appreciation day. Why is it a summer appreciation? Because it's freezing cold. That's why it's a summer appreciation day. Sorry that this clip took so long. Have a wonderful Pesach. Make the best with what you have. At every situation that's thrown at us, we have a choice how to interpret it. You have more time in the intermediate days of Pesach. Go do some research on the concept of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, something that I do with my clients. I constantly train them of how to look at things, for I do the same. I constantly do the same of how to interpret life events. It takes away 90% of the stress and the emotional hell that comes primarily not from the event, but how we interpret the event, which we always thought that was the actual event, but it wasn't the actual event. It was the interpretation of the event that gets us all depressed. Thanks for listening. And we're going through a freedom appreciation segment of our life as we are all tied up to a certain level in quarantine, financially, and all other aspects. Chag Sameach.